Let's get Concacaf Nations League underway then, because the US men's national team begin their quest for a third straight Concacaf Nations League title with a quarter-final matchup against Trinidad and Tobago coming up tonight in Austin. Sebastian Salazar is there. Obviously, all eyes on him as always, but all eyes on Greg Berhalter too, Sebi.
Absolutely, yeah. Big test for him here in this two-leg quarterfinal. Obviously, the spot in the semifinals at stake, but also the spot in Copa America. And as a huge, huge tournament coming up next year here in the United States, U.S. needs to be in it. There's still a back-channel qualification route if they were to lose to Trinidad and Tobago, but you don't want to suffer that humiliation again. U.S. fans remember what happened in Cuba now over 6 years ago when the U.S. lost to Trinidad and Tobago and were left out of the 2018 World Cup. And Greg Berhalter has to find solutions here, Kay, to your point. He doesn't have some of his best players. No Christian Pulisic. No Timothy Weah, as it's been for a while now. No Tyler Adams. So it's going to be a test of not just Greg Berhalter, but the considerable depth of this American pool. I think that the number 2 guys in this pool are good enough to beat Trinidad and Tobago. The question is, are they good enough to dominate this Trinidad and Tobago team?
Okay, Seb, we know you love a little tip and a little bet. What can you tell us for these games coming up? What should we be looking out for?
Well, in good Football Americas fashion, okay, we went with the Mexican-American dual national parlay here. All right, let's start with the United States against Trinidad and Tobago. I mentioned I think they're going to win pretty easily here. Not just the fact that they're at home, but if you look back at the Gold Cup, the USA beat Trinidad and Tobago 6-0. That was the USA B team. So you got to think most of the A team's going to have an even easier time than that. I think the USA minus 3.5 is a pretty safe bet. And then Mexico tomorrow night, they go away to Honduras, which has usually been a house of horrors, not just for Mexico, for the United States, for everybody in CONCACAF. But Honduras is now playing their home games in San Pedro Sula, as they always have. They've moved their home games out of their iconic stadium down there. So I don't think the Mexican players will be comfortable, but they certainly won't be as uncomfortable. And if we go back to the Gold Cup and the Mexico-Honduras showdown there, Mexico won that 4-0. So I think Mexico minus 1.5 goals tomorrow night in Honduras. You smash those together, you get yourself a nice little CONCACAF parlay where we never find Gobbins, as the boys would find all over.
Gobbins. Don't worry, Sebi, I'm with you. I have no idea. Gobbins. That was new for me as well. Yeah. Football America's coming up after the game tonight. What can we expect on the latest show?
Yep, Herc and I will be all over, of course, the United States game against Trinidad and Tobago. We will be looking ahead to tomorrow's game between Mexico and Honduras. We got a great list of guests. Thomas Rongen, former MLS manager who's now got a movie being made about his life. Michael Fassbender's playing the lead role there. Juan Guerra, he's the manager of USL Championship-winning Phoenix Rising, going to join us. Midge Purse, the MVP of the NWSL Championship, going to join us. And Paxton Aronson with Luis Miguel Echegaray. So an interview, full edition of Football Americas coming up later tonight, Kay.
Another unmissable edition of Football Americas. Make sure to catch it tonight after the game with Seb Herc and a star-studded lineup.